Do you feel that the trade imbalances are something of a false narrative in terms of this whole idea of defending the worker and defending job security? Isn't it more a case of governments needing to come up with a plan to reconfigure and retool the workforce for the 21st century?
That's absolutely right. You are not going to create jobs by opting for protectionism. In fact, if you go back at the history of globalization, which, to use the old cliche, lifted 1 billion Chinese people out of poverty, you can see that where jobs were really created was under globalization, not protectionism. But of course, populism wants easy answers. It wants to blame immigration and race. It wants to blame the fact that somebody else stole our jobs. Now, all this is, of course, mythological. The US manufacturing jobs would have been lost anyway, because actually the reason they were lost was technology. So essentially, these excuses which are being put forward by populists, and worse and more worryingly, the response to populist policies by traditional parties, are so inadequate that, in fact, the problem of distribution of wealth and growth is not getting solved, it's getting worsened.
Do you buy into this idea that we've seen peak globalisation, David?
Yes. And frankly, you know, it's not just about Trump. The actual reversal of globalization started over 7 years ago. And if you look at the protectionist measures which started to be implemented by many, many countries around the world, they preceded Trump. The problem was that it's an echo chamber. That echoes back with people like people in Italy who have lost their jobs because they don't have a functioning labour market and they have a completely inept government. It echoes back. And then, of course, it gets reinforced. So what you're saying is absolutely right. Globalization is on the back foot. It's not a trade deal with China, which is suddenly going to flip the switch and turn on the motor again. The damage has been done. There's no way going forward that China is going to be able to grow by using international trade to grow. So it's going to grow more domestically. That fact alone tells you that international trade, which on a value-added basis is about 25% of global GDP, is going to grow a lot more slowly and not drive global economies. It's very worrying.